Mr. Ganipula, and can you hear me out there?
Yes, hear you.
Yes, Bhante.
Okay. Okay, friends, so let's go ahead and begin with the reciting Namo Tassa and the three refuges for those who like to join. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Good evening, friends. Welcome to this Wednesday evening Dhamma discussion and meditation practice. I hope you're all able to get out, receive the mailing that I sent out on Monday with the link to this sutta for tonight's discussion. Now, this sutta is one of the suttas on mindfulness of death, and this is sort of a continuation of where we left off last week. So last week we were discussing the 8 bases of indolence or laziness and the 8 bases of energy. So this sutta on mindfulness of death is kind of a follow-up on that. And I'm going to be sharing the screen again with this sutta on it, and we're going to go over it. And then, if any of you have any questions about it, then you could ask some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and hope this screen sharing works. Every week I seem to have a problem with this. I'm not sure why. Oh, there we go. Okay. So you can see this nice diagram with looks like a scorpion on this person's face. Now, I myself have encountered scorpions when I was a young monk in Sri Lanka, or a monk living in Sri Lanka. Scorpions and centipedes, as well as poisonous snakes. So actually this first part of this sutta, I can relate to that quite well. A lot of you living here in America may not have access to scorpions and centipedes and snakes, but at least those animal insect kind, there's a lot of, you could say human scorpions and snakes. But anyway, so the Buddha is addressing the monks. He says, mindfulness of death, when developed and pursued, is of great fruit and great benefit. It gains a footing in the deathless, has the deathless as its final end. And how is mindfulness of death developed and pursued so that it is of great fruit and great benefit? So it gains a footing in the deathless and has deathless as its final end. So this is kind of similar again to the 8 cases of indolence and laziness, but it's a little bit different. And I like the Buddha's wording on this. He covers almost every possible way that a person could die. So there's the case where a monk, well, we will say a person because it could be any person, as day departs and night returns, the person reflects, many are the possible causes of my death. A snake might bite me, a scorpion might sting me, a centipede might bite me. That would be how my death would come about. That would be an obstruction for me. Stumbling, I might fall down. My food digested might trouble me. My bile might be provoked. My phlegm, piercing wind forces in the body might be provoked. And that would be how my death would come about. That would be an obstruction for me. Now, of course, if you can't relate to some of those things that were just, mentioned there, people die in their sleep from other causes, don't they? Heart attacks. People die in their sleep from a heart attack. They might die in their sleep from a stroke. And other things. So just because these particular things that are mentioned in the sutta may not come, there's certainly many other ways that it could be how one could die during the night, because we read about it quite often. And so then that person reflects, investigates, are there any evil, unskilled qualities unabandoned by me that would be an obstruction for me were I to die in the night? Now, this refers to, are there any bad habits that we still have? Are there any unskillful comic actions that we're still doing that we haven't abandoned? Like telling lies or other forms of bad speech, or even any of the precepts, or could be any other just bad habits, because habits are basically what are going to determine the kind of rebirth that you might have. And we've gone over that in some other suttas before. Or do you have anybody you haven't forgiven, or any resentment that you're still holding towards other people, or even to yourself? These are all negative states of mind that could affect how our mind is reborn if we were to die in any of these kind of situations. And if on reflecting, the person realizes there are these evil, unskillful qualities unabandoned in me, that if I were to die soon, then that may not bode well for what will happen after death. So you could kind of phrase it in that kind of terminology. And so let me put forth the extra effort, the extra diligence, the extra endeavor, mindfulness and alertness for abandoning those very same unskillful qualities. And then this is a nice kind of simile of that. Just as when a person whose turban or head was on fire, they would put forth extra effort, desire to quickly put out that fire on their head if they were wearing a turban or if their hair was on fire. You would act very quickly. You wouldn't delay. In the same way, the person should put forth extra effort, diligence, endeavor for the abandoning of those unskillful qualities. But if on reflecting, the person realizes that there are no unskillful qualities unabandoned by him, there would be an obstruction for if he were to die, then for that very reason he should dwell in joy and rapture, training himself day and night in skillful qualities. So, enjoy that first or second jhana. Go ahead, that's what the Buddha is saying. Or training in, cultivating other skillful mental qualities such as metta and karuna, loving kindness, compassion, generosity, and so on. Okay, so that was for, reflecting before one goes to sleep at night. And then there's the case where a person, as the night departs and the day returns, they would also reflect in the same way. I'm not going to repeat all of that, but reflect in the same way. Many would be the causes that I could die in the day. In the day, actually, there are more, because if you're driving, you could get caught in a car accident, you could get murdered by somebody, you could get, caught in a mass shooting. I mean, we read these things every day, don't we, about these things. So these are not like unknown things or like they don't happen to people, because they do happen, especially in the last few years they happen. But it's always been happening. So anyway, so the main takeaway on this is that, we don't know when death will occur. There's only one thing certain in life, because life is not certain. Because even babies die before coming out of the womb. And they die 1 minute coming out of the womb, or 1 hour coming out of the womb, 1 day, and every day from day 1 to 101 days, years, if they live that long, people die. My mother lived to almost to be 102, but she died. So people die when they're 49 years and 3 days and 63 years old and 10 days. We can't, death is certain, but the time is not certain. So these three certainties, the time is not certain, how we'll die is not certain, and when we'll die is not certain. And so the takeaway on that again is not to procrastinate, or not to endure or enjoy those negative states, because we know we like to indulge in our negative states, like talking negative about behind people's backs or to them, or using rough language toward people, or enjoying a fantasy where we might get our revenge on somebody, or hoping that somebody else will come to misfortune and grief, due to resentment and ill will. So all of these are the kind of thoughts that could affect our mind when we die. And so that's why it's the mindfulness of death is of great benefit, because it stirs up the energy. So mindfulness of death is said to be a motivation not to procrastinate or to wait until later to, to develop your meditation practice. And so this reflects on those same 8 bases of negligence or laziness and effort that we were talking about last week. Also, oh well, I've got to do something today. I got to skip meditation because for one reason or the other. For some reason, meditation seems to get second fiddle in most people's lives because they treat it as kind of just a pastime or some a side issue. But when you really get a good understanding of the Dhamma, you realize that there's no time to waste in working on our developing the good habits and the habit of meditation, where where it becomes like you do it automatically, like brushing your teeth or taking a shower every day. Now, people they don't have to get up in the morning or evening and say, "Oh, how am I going to find time to brush my teeth or shower?" Right? You just you automatically do it, and you've been doing it for years and years. So the same way with meditation practice, or by practicing metta, by practicing any of those, giving and sharing, and the precepts. So that's the way we have to try to use those reflections and to develop, the practice of mindfulness, doing the M&Ms and so on. Now, this last, phrase here. So, how is mindfulness of death developed? So that is of great fruit, gains a footing in the deathless, and has the deathless as its final end. Now, what is this meaning of the deathless? Now we've gone over some Dhammapada verses in the past. The mindfulness or heedfulness is the path to the deathless. In fact, we did that appamada. A few weeks ago. We did a whole session on appamada in the Dhammapada verses, in which it said mindfulness is the path to the deathless. Unmindfulness is the path to death. The mindful do not die, and the unmindful are as if dead already. So the deathless state is actually that state of pure awareness, which is grounded in the present moment. Because death is just for our mind that's still caught in thoughts of the past and future, and still is attached to the memories of the past and the future, that we'll have to come back to recreate that, and to revisit those, those strong habits and thoughts in our mind. And because in meditation, if you attain, let's say, a jhana, your mind enters a state of basically present moment awareness. You're fully focused on the object of your concentration, or if you're practicing the vipassana awareness, then the mind is in a free flow state from moment to moment, not holding on to any thoughts of the past or future. And that essentially is a kind of the deathless state. Because the mind is born, what is born is the sense of I and me and mine. The ego is keep getting born over and over because of our clinging and identification and grasping. So if one can develop that ability to attain those states of awareness, while meditating, and even hold that state of awareness where the mind is not thinking of the past or future and the ego dissolves, then that's the way that we, really fully, if we die in that state, then that's the deathless as its final end. Anyway, I just wanted to review these aspects of mindfulness of death because so easy our mind kind of, forgets that. And again, look at that scorpion. A few times in Sri Lanka when I was a young monk, I was sleeping in places where there were scorpions and I got bit a couple of times. And I saw the poison going from one time I was meditating on I had a rock where I used to meditate behind my kuti, facing the Indian Ocean. And I had to climb up on the rock and I had to kind of put my hand up on top of the rock to pull myself up. And a lot of times I didn't look where I was putting my hand and I put it down onto a scorpion and I got bit. And then, I could see after 5 or 10 minutes, I could see the poison going up my arm. You could see it as a kind of a red mark going through the blood as the blood's curing that poison. I could see it going up my arm, but fortunately there was a man who lived by my kuti, and where I used to get tea, he used to give me, a flask of tea in the evening. So I went down there, and he saw my arm, and I showed him my arm, and he said, "Oh," he got all excited, and he ran and he made a potion because they had medicinal herbs in this place, and he had made a potion, an herbal compress. And he came back in about 10 minutes and he put that. By that time, the poison had gone up to about here, and so he put that on the bite, my finger, and it was burning hot. That the poison was going, and I was contemplating death. Okay, this might be by my end. Okay. Well, I didn't ask for this, and so I'm blameless in this if the death is coming. And I was trying to, make my mind, calm in spite. Although I was under my breath, I was saying, "Hurry up, please," to the man to bring the thing. So anyway, he put it on there, and after about 10 minutes, or fairly quickly, the poison started going back down. And it went all the way back down. And that kind of thing happened actually a couple of times, once with a centipede too. So I know that. I'm just saying that to show that, these things still happen. But that's why people don't like to live out in the forest, because they have afraid of poisonous creatures like those, or fear of the dark and so on. But as a young monk, I used to deliberately go and live in places like that because I was using this contemplation of death, actually mindfulness of death. And I could use these sutras very well when I was doing my contemplation. So anyway, I think I'm going to finish this talk here. And I'm going to turn off this stop the share screen. And then, so now, if any of you have any sort of comments or questions on this mindfulness of death, then you go ahead and you ask a question. So I see Dragon Yogi has a golden hand up there.
Gratitude and appreciation, Bhante. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh boy, this is a good one.
Well, the Dhamma, it makes you think, that's the whole point of the Dhamma, is to make us to think about things we normally don't think about.
Yeah, I love it. And thanks to you, I've been practicing every day. The Marana Sati with let's see, practicing the impermanence as well. But contemplating death, I've been going more with how would you say it? Staying in the present moment.
Yeah, the present moment is the deathless. Because whenever we grasp at a thought of the past or future, it's already dead.
Mhm.
It's not around. But
And
the
then,
present moment has a vitality to it, you know? It
mhm,
has a vitality to it.
mhm.
The present moment awareness is the state, it's a vibration of consciousness. It has a vitality to it. And that's what most people, unfortunately, people, they may not get to that point in their meditation to, because once you experience that, wow, it's a
So
game
wow.
changer. No, it's a
Yes.
game changer.
Yeah. And the other one was in the contemplation of death was, um, oh, I'm trying to think of the whole thing right now. Um, Give me a moment. Bhante, let someone else have a question and let me come back.
Does anyone else out there have a question or a comment? So,
Oh, I know now. I
yeah,
got it. The four contemplations. Gonna get old,
yeah.
gonna get sick, gonna die, and
There's
the
five
last one was
contemplations. There's five, not
the
four.
five. The five.
Yeah,
Gonna get old, gonna get sick, gonna die,
yeah.
uh, and the other
Everything dear and delightful to me will change and vanish.
and karma.
And the karma. I'm the owner of my actions, born from my actions. I will inherit all my actions. Yeah.
So in the karma, is that the karma that we take at death?
No, the karma we're doing now,
Now, okay, all
because
right,
that's going to be with us at the time of death,
of death.
especially the
Okay.
fresh ones. The fresh ones, but even the ones you did 20, 30, 40 years ago, you know,
Hmm.
if they were heavy kind of ones, you know, they
Hmm.
still are in your unconscious mind, and even they could flare up as a memory, you know, if they're not purged out.
Hmm. Now, how do we work some of those memories and the purge of memories when they come up that they're not me, not mine, not myself,
Right.
impermanent, unsatisfactory, soulless. Um, but sometimes we attach ourselves to those memories as identity and personality. And what are some of the ways maybe of practice and working with that too, in relationship to the death?
Well, especially the mind, you know,
Hmm.
a person could see how this body's not really mine, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But the mind is different, you know, the ego, the sense of self,
Hmm.
and so on is much more difficult to overcome
Hmm.
than just the fear of the body, because basically everybody knows they're going to die, right?
Right.
And they don't
Right.
know what happens to the mind after death. That's the point. Like, look
Right.
at our you know, president now. Even he's got some misgivings about starting to worry about, you know, his death, because you know, he
Hmm.
knows that in his mind there's a lot of greed, hatred, and
And
delusion,
delusion.
and a lot of people that he's hurt and harmed in various
Yes.
ways. So,
Yes.
you know, he's starting to think about that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And so, but
Thank you.
he thinks he can buy it by, you know, getting the Nobel Peace Prize or something. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that. But, okay.
Thank you, Monty. So keep contemplating the five.
Yeah, especially the consciousness, you know,
Hmm.
and
Not me, not hearing,
even all
seeing,
those
smelling.
memories. Okay, they're there, but you know, learn how to tune into that vibration of the awareness. Even though some thoughts may come and go through the awareness, if you don't cling to them, they're just like bubbles, water
Hmm.
bubbles that arise and just burst.
Hmm.
And you have to maintain that. That's why mindfulness of the body is the best thing, because the best way to keep
Taking
that
it in the body.
connection to those subtle vibrations is by, you know, feeling the body. That's where they are. That's because those vibrations are nothing but electrons and atoms
Hmm.
that and you know, molecules that are within our cells,
Hmm.
and billions of them.
Mhm.
And even though they're, hard, you can't feel just one when there's billions of them vibrating at the same time. That's what you feel when
Mhm.
you're in a deep state of awareness, or even not even that's super deep actually. And that's why the yoga exercise is so important.
Oh,
That's what that helps to magnify those vibrations tenfold or 100-fold. If you sit down with your body just stiff and you're breathing very shallow, your body's half dead because it doesn't have enough oxygen to stimulate those molecules and cells, to get them vibrating. But when you do like we do each week, even just 10 or 15 minutes of stretching and deep breathing, I think most of you at least, could feel a little bit from that. And
a lot.
you just use that as your connection. That's what I've been doing for the last 50 years because, I was able to, learn that in my very first years as a monk. Okay, Kat, do you have a
Thank you,
question?
Bhante. So grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Bhante. Bhante, I like to ask for the I don't know, not about contemplating, but then when I think of my dad, because he's now in Singapore, I'm in Canada, so but he has Parkinson, and some days he feels good, some days he's not feeling well, and so I don't know. When I think about him, I worry about him. What if something happened to him while I'm away? Then I started to feel guilty for staying away. So I don't know if those thoughts come up. I don't know what to do.
Well, just see those thoughts as, a lot of them we get affected by people around us. I don't know if you're an only child or you got friends or, but
I
people
have
will say,
sisters and
oh, you're
brothers.
just
Yeah.
living by yourself and, you should go and take care of your father, or something else to make you feel guilty. But, we're all going to die one way or another, and especially people who are already that old, and I'm sure they have people to take care of them. You can send them metta. You can every day you can keep your father, in your thoughts of metta, and call them once in a while. But you have your own life to lead, and if it's that you've come to Canada and you're established there, and so the it's just a lot of it is society's conditioning that, oh, if we don't do that and take care of them, we're a bad person or something
Yeah.
like that. But even so, even when my mother was 99 or 100, she broke her hip. And I used to go and visit her once in 2 or 3 years. But in the last couple of years, when she was 100, 101, I used to go and spend a couple months just because it is a Buddhist virtue to take care of the parents if they need it. Now, my mother didn't really need it. Of course, she was happy to see her children, right? They visit and so on like that. But each person has their own life and their own personal circumstances, and we can't gauge ourselves, compare ourselves to others in those regards, But the fact that you have those thoughts and not to feel bad about it, but as long as you call them regularly and you send them metta, and that he's provided for, so if he's in Singapore, I'm sure they have a good safety net over there, for old people, or you might have other family members there and so on.
Yes, yes, it does. But I think it's just a cultural thing that it makes me feel guilty.
Well, the culture is part of it, yeah, but you know, our parents we're, for some reason, our karma, to use that term, chose our parents, or somehow we were born with them. There's some karmic connection there. But as long as you haven't done anything to hurt the parents, and you respectful and all that, then, that's the main thing, because a lot of people, have bad experiences with their parents and their so on.
Thank you, Bhante. Bhante, one more question is writing the will. It is more for Christians to write, but Buddhists, they don't usually write. But in Singapore, there's an option that I could write, so I just wrote it, and so that I don't need to worry about anything, I mean, it's like everything is already, how to say, given to all those siblings and all, so I don't have to worry about anything. And I'm not sure, is it a good thing to write or not to write it?
You mean for a person to write their will?
Yeah.
Well, if you have properties or you have a lot of savings and stuff like that, if you die without a will, then of course friends or other people will somehow try to get it or go wasted, or make sure it's going to go to some charitable organization or what. There's nothing wrong against a Buddhist writing a will. Like the Buddha didn't write a will, but his will was the Dhamma, So, he stayed long enough, to teach the Dhamma long enough and to establish the Sangha. That was his will. That's why he wanted to live long enough. He said, I'm going to live until the Sangha is fully developed and there's arahants and men and women Sangha members, and monks, nuns, lay people, and all the 4 stages of enlightened beings. That was his will. And even, he was supposed to be a prince, right? So when his son was born, Rahula, and he came back to the palace, if you know that story of the Buddha. So after 7 years, the Buddha went back home as the Buddha. And his wife, Yasodhara, was with their child, Rahula, and he was 7 years old at the time. And she said, look, there's your daddy, and go ask for your inheritance. And she was thinking that, the Buddha should have become the king, so ask him, to be the next king, give something like that. The Buddha said, I'll give him my inheritance, but he ordained him as a monk, or he had Sariputta ordain him as a monk, because he says, I'm the king of Dhamma, not the king of these, these mundane things. He was the king of Dhamma, so his inheritance to his son was the Dhamma.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you so much.
Okay. So a good thing to do, in coming back to this contemplation of death, now that you don't have to, it's not a morbid thing. A lot of people think that mindfulness of death is a morbid thing. It's not that you want to die. No. We want to live as long as possible in order to make as much progress in the Dhamma, in purifying the mind of greed, hatred, and delusion, so that when we die, we can die without regret, and knowing that you did everything you could possibly do, and okay, maybe you didn't attain a state of enlightenment, but nothing is lost. And the more the Dhamma is in your mind as habits, whether it's reading suttas and the practice of meditation, that is going to be a very, very powerful stimulant and a connection for being able to recontact the Dhamma again in another life, perhaps even at a younger age or in better circumstances, where we could, finish the work, so to speak. Okay, any other questions?
I think there's something in the chat, Bhante.
Oh, Okay, thank you for pointing that out. Okay, this is you seen Charlie Kirk, who has over 20 million social media, was shot dead today. Another 170,000 deaths happened today worldwide. Right. In spite of this, we normally don't contemplate death. What is the reason for ignoring death? Is it discomfort contemplating the death that prevents our minds from engaging in it? Yes, probably to a large extent. And it's true. Every time that you hear that somebody died, that could have happened to me too. Because it does happen to many innocent people, hundreds and thousands of times, probably around the world. People get murdered or stabbed or anyway die. We've already gone over that. But it's it's not a for most people it's not something that they want to contemplate. And it's not it's just that it's about, are you ready to die? That's the thing. If it happens, am I ready? And then if you see you still haven't forgiven somebody, forgive them. Work on forgiving them, even if it hurts. Or, generosity, practice more generosity. Go out and, give something to charity more. All these are good types of karma. Practice loving kindness, even to your so-called enemies. Anything that will help weaken any of those kind of, the types of unskillful thoughts and fears, overcoming fear. But yeah, most of the time when we hear about death, we think, it happened on the other side of the world, or, that person does, got it coming to them and this and that. But people get killed, die all the time, coming back from a party, coming back from visiting their parents or any kind of things. You get, especially in this country, automobile accidents, dying at the hands of some other drunk person or whatever. Accidents is so common. Okay. So, yeah, I happen to see that once in a while. I look at the internet news once in a while, and I saw this article about this person. But he's preaching ideas that a lot of people don't like. So somebody maybe didn't like it. And so, whatever we do, whatever protests we attend, whatever kind of views we espouse, you have to accept the fact that there are going to be people out there that don't like it, and who may go to the extremes of not wanting you to, advertise it. In Sri Lanka, Buddhist monks were murdered just because they were Buddhist monks. Some people didn't like it for whatever reason. So, okay, friends, I think we will go ahead and bring this this topic, this discussion to a close, so we can have ourselves a good, do some yoga and awaken those molecules and atoms in our, in our cells, and get some good vibrations going, right? Good vibrations, yeah, that's a good song. If only they knew, Okay, we'll see you back in a few minutes. Okay, friends, so let's try to stand straight. Relax your shoulders and arms at the side. Just gently close your eyes. Feel your feet pressing the floor. Try to feel the height and weight of the body over the feet. And just rest your attention on the eyes. Try to feel the outline of the standing body. Feel the sense of the head on top, arms at the sides, feet pressing the floor, even the clothing touching the skin. Feel those physical vibrations. Then begin some deep, slow breathing. Try to take 2 or 3 seconds to bring the air up from the lower lung up to the top of the lungs and chest. Hold the air in the lungs for 2 seconds to allow the oxygen to get out into the bloodstream, and slowly breathe out. Try to feel the last bit of air go out of the lungs. Take several more deep breaths like that, developing this mindfulness. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Hold the breath in. Breathing out, standing here and now. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, standing here and now. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. Breathing out, feeling the whole body. Now we're going to combine this breathing with these movements, repeating each exercise 3 times. Again, the whole time, the point in doing these is to feel the physical sensations generated by the deep breathing and the stretching. Letting go of your thoughts, keeping the mind in the body. So you can open the eyes and observe me as I lead you through it. So on the next in-breath, raise both arms over the head, interlock the fingers, turn the palms up, straighten the arms, stretch your head back, stretch upwards. Feel the sensations, release your fingers, the out-breath, arms back to the sides. Feel the air going out as the arms come down. Again, in-breath, up. Stretch up, bend back a little. Feel the arch in the spine, feel the sensation. Out-breath, arms back to the sides, feel the last bit of air go out. Once more, in. Stretch up, bend back a little more. Hold it a little longer. Feel the sensation. Out breath. Arms back to the sides. Feel the last bit of air go out. Just relax. Keep feeling the body. Feel the increased sensations. Clothing touching the skin. And the pulsations. Just letting go of your thoughts. Just letting the thoughts come and go in the back of the mind. Just remember the present moment of standing, standing. On the next in-breath, lift up on the balls of the feet while raising the arms over the head. In this way, facing the hands toward each other, stretch up. Out breath, come back down. Again, feel the air going out as the arms come down. Use the in-breath to help lift up the body. Stretch. Out. Once more, in. Out. Close the eyes, relax. Keep feeling the body. Don't give the mind time to wander in thoughts. It's the present moment of the body standing. So many different sensations. All those sensations are just billions of electrons, molecules, cells vibrating, interacting. All of those cells have a kind of an awareness. The more cellular vibrations you can feel, the more expanded your awareness becomes. Okay, next we'll do the side bending using both arms. On the in-breath, raise both arms up. And keep your fingers and arms straight, close to your head. On the out-breath, bend over the right side. Keep the arms parallel to each other. In-breath, lift up. And the left side, out-breath. In. And to the right, out-breath. In. Out. Once more to each side. Feel all the sensation. Now on an out breath, lower the arms. Let's close the eyes. Keep feeling the body. Feet pressing the floor, hands and fingers hanging at the sides, clothing touching the skin, head balanced on top, feel the eyes in the socket. The more sensations you can notice, the more awareness you will have. Subtle background vibrations of the deathless. Okay, next we'll do the knee bending or squatting. So in the next in-breath, lift up on the balls of the feet while raising the hands up front for balance. On the out-breath, bend the knees, lower down, balance on the balls of the feet. Come down in a squatting position if you can. And take a deep breath to feel the muscles in the legs pushing the body up. On the toes, in out breath. In, out. The out breath, lower the arms, relax. Keep feel the body, feel the increased heartbeat, other pulsations, breathing. Present moment, body-centered awareness, the natural awareness. Remember standing, standing, standing. You can now spread the feet apart. The wider the better. Holding the arms out at the sides, we'll do twisting from right to left. So breathe in. On the out breath, twist to the right. Let your feet turn a little bit. Keep your eyes focused on the hand going back. In breath, back to the front. Let your feet turn with the body, then twist to the other side, the out breath. In breath, front. Let's keep alternating sides with the breathing. Once more to each side. And come back to the front. Relax. Close the eyes. Feel each foot pressing the floor. Feel the clothing touching the skin. Increased heartbeat, pulsations. Any little aches or pains. Itchy, prickly sensations. So many different sensations can be felt. Get into the body, out of your thoughts. The body is the gateway to the deathless state, to the vibrations of the cellular vibration, atomic vibration. Which is awareness. Okay, now place the hands together at the chest. In breath, hands over the head. Out breath, hands to the chest, bend the knees, lower down, keep the back upright. Feel the stretch in your hips and knees. In breath, lift up. Hands over the head. Second time, try to come down a little more. In. Out. In. The out breath, arms to the sides. Close the eyes. Feel that outline of the body, mental silhouette of the body, all the vibrations, present moment awareness. Okay, now bring your feet back together. We do the head turning from right to left. So on the in-breath, turn your head to the right. Look over your right shoulder. On the out-breath, turn all the way back to the left. Look over the left shoulder. You have a stiff neck, just be careful. In-breath to the right. Concentrate into the neck vertebrae. Imagine feeling them loosening up. Once more to each side. On the in-breath, let the head stop in the middle. Keep the eyes closed, keep feeling all the vibrations. We're going to do one last exercise. Backward and forward bendings. Let's be careful with the back bends. Don't bend back too far the first time, especially if you have a bad back. Keeping the palms facing outward and your little fingers touching together. So on an in-breath, raise the hands up level to your eyes. Begin spreading the arms out to the sides as you bend back on the out-breath. Keep your eyes open, look at the ceiling, the arch in the spine. Carefully lift up on an in-breath, keeping the arms out at the sides, and on the out-breath, lower the arms and hands down towards the floor. Try to keep the legs and the knees straight. Let the little bones in the lower spine stretch out. And begin lifting up. Turn the palms outward again. In breath. Raise the hands up. Out breath, arms out to the side, bend back. In breath, carefully lift up. You are really shaking. Out breath, hands to the floor. Once more, in breath, out. In. On the third time, try to hold the downward stretch longer. Yeah. Begin lifting up. Take a deep breath. Bring the hands together at the chest. And the out breath, hands to the sides. Feel the whole body, heart beating, pulsations. You feel that activated, organic aliveness of the whole body. Feel as though you're standing on a vibrating machine, feeling all those vibrations, cellular vibrations, from soles of the feet up to the top of the head. Present moment, body-centered awareness. Body awareness is the gateway to the deathless state because it's present moment awareness. Once you can tune into those body vibrations, they're so powerful that you can't think about anything else, so the mind just rests in the present moment. The sense of self fades away. It's a glimpse of the deathless. Okay, so now let's come back to our seats. Get ready for the sitting. Just get comfortable in the sitting posture. Just try to sit straight. First of all, just feel your buttocks pressing the seat. Try to feel or establish that natural inward curve of the lower lumbar vertebrae. If you can, kind of feel or imagine the spinal column going up through the middle of your back. Join the base of the skull. Keep your chin lifted up level with the floor. Just gently close your eyes. Feel your head balanced on top of the spinal column, like balancing a soccer ball on the end of a stick. Just feel your eyes in the sockets. Feel the skin stretched over the front of your face. And just slowly move your attention down through the body to feel the different sensations. Just move your attention down to your shoulders. Relax your shoulders. Feel the clothing touching the skin of the shoulders. And feel the weight of the arms hanging from the shoulders. Feel the chest and stomach area between your arms. And feel your hands and fingers where they touch together or touch the body. And feel the way your knees are bent and the legs tucked underneath, or where the feet press the floor if you're sitting on a chair. Just try to feel that outline of the sitting body. Just let the mind kind of rest behind the eyes again. Feel that outline of the sitting body. Then begin some deep, slow breathing like we did in the yoga. Take 2 or 3 seconds to expand your abdomen, rib cage, and upper chest, holding the air in the lungs for 2 seconds. Get all the oxygen out into the bloodstream. On the out breath, feel the last bit of air go out of the lung. Just take some more deep, slow breaths like that, developing this mindfulness. And breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Hold the breath. And breathing out, sitting here and now. Feel the last bit of air go out. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, sitting here and now. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. Breathing out, feeling the whole body. Now we're going to try counting the breaths from 1 to 10 to develop a more continuous concentration on the breathing. I'll do the counting for you. Just try to follow that with your breathing and concentration. So with the next expanding in breath, mentally count to 1. With the contracting out breath, also count to 1. Feel the last bit of air go out. Next in breath, 2. Out breath, 2. In 3. Out 3. In 4. Out 4. In 5. Out 5. In 6. Out 6. In 7. Out 7. In 8. Out 8. In 9. Out 9. In 10. Out 10. Feel the last bit of air go out of the lungs. Let the breath kind of just relax. Don't try to breathe in. Just let the breath come back in under its own power, don't control it. As the breath comes back in, just keep following it with close attention. Feel that expanding breath. Feel the brief pause. Feel the contracting breath. The brief pause. Especially try to feel where the clothing rubs against the skin of the stomach, rib cage, or chest, as it expands and contracts, producing those sensations. The more sensations of the breathing you can feel, the more alert the mind will be. Just knowing when the breath is coming in and knowing when the breath is going out. Know it by feeling it, feeling those sensations. You might feel the air moving through the nostrils, or feel the expanding and contracting of the lungs. Just try to tune in to those 4 phases of each breath cycle. Expanding in breath and the brief pause. The contracting out breath and the brief pause. Just over and over and over and over again. This breath is keeping this body alive. Breathing in life-sustaining oxygen on the in-breath. On the out-breath, you're breathing out the residue of carbon dioxide or other blood impurities. Just tune in to that life-sustaining process. To help you stay focused, you can use these mental reminders of in, sitting, out, sitting. The pauses between the breaths, feel the sitting posture. Sitting straight, the chin droops down, the spine slouches. On the next in-breath, mindfully straighten back up. In, sitting. Out, sitting, breath by breath, moment by moment. You can try to hold that outline of the sitting body in the mind's eye. This breathing is going in and out within that larger sitting body. Feel a dynamic aliveness. Sitting, breathing body. Present moment, body centered awareness. Just letting go of the past and future. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, sitting here and now. At the same time, be alert for thoughts trying to sneak in, to steal your attention away. Thoughts of the past and the future. The mind gets carried away in thoughts. Just take some more deep, slow breaths. Stay grounded, alert, centered in the body. So with each out breath, allowing the body and mind to relax more and more into the here and now, the present moment awareness. Centered in the body, feeling more and more subtle vibration. So you feel or understand the subtle body vibration, vibrations of the present moment awareness. Keep your attention connected to that. Even if the breathing stops, it's okay, there always will be awareness. The other subtle vibrations, cellular vibrations, the atomic vibration. Even if thoughts arise, even thoughts are just mental vibration. It's opening up to the flow of impermanence. Only sensations, even thoughts just coming and going. Sounds coming and going, rising, vanishing through the expanded space of awareness. Itchy, prickly sensations, even aches or pains, or just vibrations. Within that larger awareness. If you have good awareness of impermanence, just become like an empty house with nobody home to answer the call, knocking on the doors and windows. Just allow any remaining sense of I or me just gradually fade away to that larger ocean of awareness. Just like an ice cube floating in water, just let the ice cube of the ego consciousness melt away, become the ocean of present moment awareness. Appamado amatapadam pamado machuno padam appamatina miyanti ye pamataya tamata etam visesato nyatava appamadam hi pandita appamadi pamodanti Ariyanam Gocharirata. Mindfulness is the path to the deathless. Unmindfulness is the path to death. The mindful do not die. The unmindful are as if dead already. So understanding this excellence of mindfulness, the wise person dwells therein, enjoying the realm beyond birth and death. And thus spoke the Buddha. Now I invite you to join in chanting the word sadhu on a long out breath. Do that chanting of sadhu 3 times on a long out breath to feel those vibrations in the body and mind, those present moment vibrations. So take a deep breath. Breathe. Breathe. And mindfully place your hands at the edge of your knees. And take one more deep breath. As you breathe in, stretch your head back. Pull the hands against your knees to arch the spine back. In breath, lift the head up, and on an out breath, press the chin to the top of the chest to stretch the neck vertebrae. And lift the chin up level on an in breath. On the out breath, relax. Put a smile on your face. All right. Well, I guess none of you died during that time. That's good. Or maybe you experienced a brief glimpse of the deathless state. Really, the deathless state is just that present moment awareness, really, where the mind is not functioning ego is dissolved. That's the natural awareness. It's what you had for 9 months in the womb before the baby come out of the womb. Okay, friends. So anyway, just try to keep up your meditation practice during the week. And wherever you go, be well, be safe, be mindful, be wise. Mindfulness a day keeps dukkha away. Namo Buddhaya.
Namo
Namo
Buddhaya.
Buddhaya, Bhante.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bhante.
thank you, thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante. So grateful.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Namo Buddhaya. Good night.